ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवगौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are reading from the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the 20th verse. We have completed up to 19th verse in the previous video. So we are starting from the 20th verse onwards. So in this video, I will try to cover two shlokas from this chapter, that is the 20th verse and the 21st verse of the 9th chapter. त्रैविद्या मां सोमपापूतपापा यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देवभोगान्. Now Krishna, in these two verses, actually in the 20th verse and the 21st verse, that is the next verse that we are going to discuss today, is actually describing the nature of the heavenly delights. Like we see in this material world that people are very much attracted towards sense enjoyment, and they have this idea that if you go to heavenly planets, you have you can have sense pleasures in a more sophisticated way, and in a way in which gratifies your senses to a more degree, like compared to this world. We have that idea, and that is not wrong completely. So in this particular verse, Krishna is going to explain how people attain the heavenly planets and what do they do there. And in the next verse, that is the 21st verse, Krishna describes that what is the ultimate destination. Is there something beyond heaven? Because in this world, people have this conception that heaven is the ultimate reality, or heaven is the ultimate destination, what we all are seeking after, right? So in these two verses, Krishna is addressing those people, the doubts that we have regarding heaven and the heavenly delights. So in this particular verse, Krishna says, Traividya mam somapaha puta papa. So there are people who Traividya. Trai means three, and Vidya here refers to Vedas. So there are people who learn Rig, Sama and Yajur Veda, the three Vedas, in order to purify themselves, in order to learn about, and also there are drinkers of the Soma juice, Soma Paha, the drinkers of the Soma juice. What do? They purify themselves from sins. Puta Papa. So Puta means to purify oneself, and from what do they purify? Papa, that is the sinful reaction or the sins that they have committed. So Traividya. So in India, we know that there are different kinds of surnames that are given to the caste Brahmanas. Like there are some people who have surnames as Trivedi. There are some people who are known as Chaturvedi. So these are actually Brahmanas. In the earlier ages, these were Brahmanas who were well versed in three Vedas. They were known as Trivedis. And there were Chaturvedis, etc. But nowadays it is very hard to find someone who is actually well versed with these Vedas. So they are actually, very rarely found species, or they are extincting from this world, we can say like that. So Krishna here says that there are people who learn the three Vedas, Trividya, and drink the Soma juice. Or these can be people who are from, the moon planet. So there are people who also aspire to drink Somarasa. So people have this, idea that Somaras means it's some kind of a liquor or something, and people cheaply sometimes denote that hum Somras pi rahe while they are, drinking some third class wine or alcohol of this world. They say that we are drinking somras and it is authorized by scriptures, but it is not like that. Soma juice is something which is not found in this world. It is, a heavenly drink, you can say like that. So Krishna says here that Trividya mam somapaha puta papa. So why do they read and understand and assimilate the Vedas, the three Vedas? And why do they drink the Soma juice? In order to purify their sins. Puta papa. Yajnair ishtva swargatim prarthayante. And by doing all these things, what do they do? Yajnair ishtva, which means, yajna means, sacrifices. Yagya jo hum kehte hain. Yajna means sacrifice. So yajnair ishtva. Ishtva means worshipping. Right? So whom do they worship? So Krishna says, Trividya mam. In the first line, you can see a mam there in between. Trividya mam somapa puta papa yajnair ishtva. Right? They offer the sacrifices and they worship who? Krishna says mam. They worship Krishna only. But this kind of worship is an indirect worship. It is not a direct worship. Right? The direct worship Krishna only will explain in the 22nd verse onwards. But in this particular verse, when Krishna says Trividya mam somapa puta papa yajna rishtva, it means it is a kind of indirect worship to Krishna. And for what? And what do they get? Swargatim prarthayante. For what do they do it? Swargatim prarthayante. So they want to go to the Swarga lokas, or the heavenly planets. That's why they do this prarthayante. They pray for it. Right? Prarthana karte hai wo log. So they do prarthana. How? By doing yajna. Right? So te punyam asadya. By doing all these things, what do they get? They get punya. Right? They become pious. They get the pious credits. Punyam asadya. And by this they attain. Asadya Surendra Lokam. So now Surendra Lokam means the lokam, the place where Indra resides. Or the Indra is the king of that place. Right? So what is the place where Indra resides, or where Indra is the king? That is the heavenly abode. So people, by doing all these things, where they get the pious credits, and by doing such punya, such pious activities, they attain asadya surendra lokam. They get the planet where Indra resides. That is the heaven. And ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. And what do they do there? Ashnanti, they enjoy. Ashnanti divyan, not a kind of, say, somebody will think that, we have a tendency that whatever experience we are having in this world, we actually superimpose it on everything. Why? Because our mind is actually conditioned in such a time and space. Right? So some world which is beyond here, that's why the word divyan is used here. Divyan means it is celestial. The enjoyments that you get in Swargaloka, they are way more superior than the enjoyments of this world. So trying to, copy those things in this world are only going to degrade you. Because the equations of both the worlds, with respect to, the karmic regulations, are actually very different. So that's why the word divyan is used by Krishna here. Ashnanti divyan. What kind of enjoyment are they doing? They are doing celestial enjoyment. Ashnanti divyan divi deva bhogan. Right? Divi means in the heaven, Deva bhogan. What kind of bhoga they are enjoying? What kind of enjoyment they are having? Deva bhogan. The bhoga that are for devatas, or the pleasure that is for the gods. That's what they are enjoying there. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. So, this was the 20th verse. So, what was the summary of the verse? So, the first question is, what do you have to do to go to heaven? First of all, you have to be well versed in the Vedas. Then, the drinkers of the Soma juice. And they do what? They do yajna to please the Supreme Lord indirectly. Right? They might be doing yajna in the name of some devata or anyone for that matter, but actually they are indirectly worshipping whom? Krishna is saying Mam. They are indirectly worshipping Krishna himself. And by doing all these things, they get rid of their sins, puta papa, they get purified. And once they get purified, they get the pious credits to attain Surendra Lokam, to attain the heavenly abode. And once they attain the heavenly abode, what do? Ashnanti Divyan Divideva Bhogan. They are actually enjoying godly delights there. They are enjoying godly delights which are celestial in nature. So now one may have a doubt that, oh, this sounds very nice, right? If I go to, so it is not a very bad proposal to go to the heavenly planets. Why? Because Krishna only says that there are celestial enjoyments that are awaiting you there. So why not go there? Somebody might think like this. Somebody might be motivated to go there. So for them, Krishna in the second verse, now in the 21st verse, Krishna is going to tell what happens after that. Is it forever? Somebody might have this question that is it forever? Like if I go to heaven once, am I not going to come back again? Am I going to eternally enjoy there? Is it what's going to happen? So Krishna says here, te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्मम् अनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामा लभन्ते. So Krishna says, te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam. So such a person, they actually bhuktva, they enjoy Swargalokam Vishalam, they enjoy the Swargaloka, the heavenly planets, which are Vishalam, which are, great and vast. But after enjoying, what happens? Kshine Punye, all the, pious credits that you have accumulated, on the strength of which you have went there, Kshine Punye, they get Kshina, they become exhausted. Right? It's like, getting some coins when you go to some kind of a mall or something and try to play a game. So you have to first pay and you get some coins, or say for example you get a card in which there is a particular amount of recharge, and each and every time you want to enjoy a game, you just swipe it or show it to the scanner or something, and that much of the credit is exhausted from your account. Similarly, you have to earn the pious credits first in this world, and with all those pious credits, you go to the heavenly abode to enjoy. And when you start enjoying, what happens? The pious credits, the punya, gets kshina. The punya gets exhausted. Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. And what happens when it is completely exhausted? Martyalokam vishanti. You come back to this material world. Right? Martya lokam vishanti. You fall again back to this material world, which means that the heavenly planets are not the ultimate destination. They are also temporary. They are a part of this material world, and they are temporary. Like Krishna in the previous verses, he has already told this world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This world is ashashvatam. Nothing in this world is permanent. and the Swarga is not an exception because it is a part of this material world, right? So it is for a thoughtful man, for an intelligent man, it is very easy to discriminate that, going to a place which is temporary as this world, it is not a very good proposal, it is not a great proposal. Maybe to get rid of some suffering, you can go there for some time and distract yourself, but actually you have to face the reality again. You have to come back. That is what kshine punye martya lokam vishanti, they come back. Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante, which means that in order to satisfy your desires, in order to satisfy your sense desires, kama, so for that you actually went there, right? By following all these principles and learning all the Vedas, Tridharmam and everything. But ultimately what happened? Ultimately you are in this cycle of gatagatam. You are in this cycle of death and birth. You cannot get out of this cycle of birth and death. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. So, an intelligent man must try to chant the holy names of the Supreme Lord and try to get out of this cycle, this vicious cycle of birth and death. Not that today you have went to the Swargaloka, tomorrow you are coming back to this material world again and suffering, and then sometimes you go to the hellish planets, then after that you come here again, and then you go to the heavens again. So this is not a very good proposal, because again you are in this world which is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So we must try to somehow or other please Krishna and get out of this material world and go back to him. And from the next verse onwards, Krishna is going to describe how does his pure devotee act, and there we can actually understand that how we can get out of this clutch of repeated birth and death. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.